as a channel of communication is inherently harmless. It becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
We all want to do our best to win for our team. But right now, we're losing to the illegal trade in wildlife. Illegal bushmeat is on sale in our cities, risking extinction and our health.
This bottleneck.
Right, sorry about that. We seem to be having a little challenge with our Lagos Network Center, which was built to take news, the Panorama this afternoon. Now, political key actors discuss the nation's survival and challenges in more than 2 decades of democracy as heads of the Civil Service of the Federation unveils artificial intelligence-powered service-wise GPT in governance at the Global Government Summit 2025 in Singapore.
About 25 years of Nigeria's democracy is now a model for the assessment of an uninterrupted process, with top Nigerian politicians taking strategic positions to deepen knowledge and expertise regardless of party divide.
For our democracy to succeed and remain useful for the citizenry, ladies and gentlemen, we require a new set of leaders. Leaders who place national interest over and above individual parochial interests.
The focus of this conference includes fostering the development of political parties that are truly representative.
We must use democratic institutions and democratic practices to revive, to bring back the integrity of the electoral process.
All the stakeholders remarked that Nigerian democracy must be defended against abuse and manipulation.
Nigeria's position regarding the fate of democracy in Africa, particularly in our neighborhood, is to respect the sovereignty of peoples and encourage a return to democracy.
Let's talk about the future of the country, because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab.
The national conference, among other things, aimed to attain a better political system and orientation that will reflect the will of the people. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
All right, that was the National Conference on Strengthening Democracy in Nigeria, where key actors in the nation's political landscape and beyond mobilized to initiate conversation towards its survival in the midst of challenging times. And now a report just coming in indicates that President Tinubu is already at the venue of the African Energy Summit in Tanzania and will soon make his intervention. We'll be bringing that live to you. We'll now continue with the news. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, has unveiled Service-Wise GPT, the country's revolutionary advancements in the use of artificial intelligence for governance, setting a new standard for public service transformation at the Global Government Summit 2025 in Singapore. In a statement signed by Director, Information and Public Relations, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Wilson Jack, in a presentation on AI-powered service-wise GPT, highlighted Nigeria's innovative draft National Artificial Intelligence Strategy. She emphasized AI's potential to contribute significantly to the national and global economy, while stressing the need for responsible, ethical, and inclusive governance approaches to harness this technological revolution. Once the AI-powered service-wise GPT is operational, it will automate policy drafting and official memos, providing real-time policy research assistance. She stressed that the service-wise GPT is a testament to President Tinubu's administration's commitment to leveraging technology for the public good, and applying service-wise GPT will save time, improve compliance, ensure regulatory adherence, enhance productivity, facilitate faster decision-making across ministries, and ultimately improve service delivery. In the next 3 months, Nigeria's education sector is expected to have a unified and consistent data bank designed to guide ongoing reforms in the system. This follows the inauguration of a committee by the Federal Ministry of Education to oversee the implementation of the Nigeria Education Data Initiative. Zenret Digmun reports.
The lack of reliable and comprehensive data has long hindered progress in Nigeria's education sector, making it difficult to make informed decisions, allocate resources efficiently, and accurately measure performance. To address this, the federal government has initiated a plan to consolidate fragmented data from various agencies and institutions into a central, credible, and reliable platform. This platform will track students' educational journeys from their foundational years to their integration into the labor force.
Together, we are laying the foundation for a data-driven education ecosystem that meets the needs of today while preparing for the challenges of tomorrow.
This will identify gaps and make targeted interventions where they are needed, monitor progress in real time, and address emerging challenges proactively. Foster transparency and accountability in resource allocation and policy implementation.
Whatever our universities and various educational systems is turning out, let it be very relevant to the productivity of our economy.
The Ministry of Education is optimistic that this development will make the education system more inclusive, effective, and responsive to the nation's needs. In Abuja, Zenret Digmun, NTA News.
All right, broadcast journalists bear both constitutional and ethical responsibility to pursue investigative and data-driven journalism, essential for fostering progress within the nation. President of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, Professor Umar Pate, stated this at a 2-day roundtable discussing challenges and opportunities of investigative and data journalism in the broadcast sector. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
The hall is filled with registered members of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, communication scholars and students gathered for a significant event. The first training session, organized by the pioneering leadership of the association in partnership with the Faculty of Communication of the Bayero University, Kano. The event centers on a roundtable discussion addressing the issues and challenges of investigative and data-driven journalism within the broadcast sector, specifically in the Northwest Zone.
Will enable us to understand more critically of what is expected of us when we graduate and that is when we go into the real work.
President of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, Professor Umar Pate, not only highlighted the key challenges facing the sector, but also emphasized the critical steps broadcast journalists must take to enhance professionalism and uphold journalistic excellence.
It is clear that we have a responsibility that is constitutional, that is psychological, that is structural.
Vice Chancellor of the Bayero University, Kano Professor Sagir Adamu Abbas, disclosed that the university has introduced 8 new undergraduate programs, including a degree in broadcast journalism aimed at strengthening the field. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In the Lake Chad Basin region, where communities struggle with insurgency, climate change, and instability, a significant step has been taken towards enhancing social cohesion and resilience. This effort was a focal point of a pre-forum hosted under the auspices of the Yobe State Government in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana reports.
Brought together local and international stakeholders, decision makers and representatives from the ministries in Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Nigeria, along with potential donors to address the challenges of the Lake Chad region and chart a way forward. The pre-forum event featured a crucial meeting of traditional rulers from the Lake Chad Basin, emphasizing their role in fostering sustainable peace in the region.
What have been your experience? What have you been dealing with? What are the people saying? Come together, put those ideas together and be able to present it to the governors.
A session titled The Lake Chad Region, Now and Next highlighted efforts to connect and innovate for peace-centered development.
Use two infrastructure, the Observatory for Conflict and Environmental Incidents, as well as a transboundary citizens lab to engage local people to co-create pathways of change towards prosperity and peace for the Lake Chad region.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, spotlighted mental health and psychosocial support as critical areas for recovery and resilience in the region. The pre-forum successfully united stakeholders, including development partners, religious and traditional institutions, to deliberate on innovative solutions towards presenting at the 5th edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum, scheduled to hold on Wednesday in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
We'll now take a break. Panorama continues in a moment.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we are more than just a nation.
We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry life.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
African Union Development Agency, New Partnership for Africa's Development, AUDA NEPAD, is closing ranks with the Katsina state government to ensure more developmental projects are delivered to people, especially at the grassroots. Kenneth Nanim reports that Governor of Katsina State, Diku Umar Rada, was at the office of the new Chief Executive Officer of AUDA NEPAD Nigeria, Jabiru Salisu, to weigh collaborative options, including energy generation that will attract direct investments in various sectors of the economy in Katsina State for development, especially at the grassroots.
Item projects that are going on in the project, especially the renewable energy, the small farmers holders, the Gold Initiative Empowerment Project, in which Katsina State is willing to key in and benefit for the purpose of the making life better for our people.
I roll out a program of lighting 1 million houses in Nigeria. That is one area that is close to my heart, and definitely Katsina State will be among the beneficiary state. And secondly, the ongoing smallholder farmers program that is going already 7 states. The pilot states are already on board. The next phase is also an area that I think will partner with Kaduna State.
Both parties are on the same page regarding exploration of investment opportunities, especially in the agribusiness value chain for national economic growth. The long-term goal of development and transforming socio-economic activities in rural communities through agriculture in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria is becoming a reality following the inauguration of 6 agro-based facilities in Ondo State. The projects under the federal government's International Fund for Agricultural Development aims at boosting food security and creating jobs for rural dwellers. Paul Omukago has details.
Operation of a cassava processing mill, complete with locally made operational equipment at Maitedo, Ilaje local government area, by the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Olaide Adelami, was the first of the 6 projects commissioned in 2 days.
To reduce the efforts of carrying raw, unprocessed cassava to the market.
Gedegede community in Akoko Northeast local government area was agog as traditional rulers from neighboring communities joined in the inauguration and facility tour of 5 projects comprising aggregation center, market stalls, cassava processing mill, waste to wealth center, and a water project.
IFAD has been supporting me ever since I joined this program.
This is a life-changing event.
The people, the community, they are really very, very happy.
Officials say the federal government renewed hope agenda for food security and job creation through agriculture for the teeming youth of the Niger Delta region is on course.
We are quite hopeful that this will lead to wealth creation and also support to the food security aspiration of the government of Nigeria.
Projects that will directly touch the livelihood of the community, especially the youth.
Our beneficiaries, this is what they requested for, and the project has been able to provide such for them.
The federal government IFAD Life Ending project also gave out bags of rice, vegetable oil, and seasoning to women in Akure. Paul Omukago, NTA News.
6 publications that capture the essence of existence of man as it relates with every sphere of life have been presented to the public. Elizabeth Omori reports that the author of the books, Sister Priska Nwokore, adopts poetry and simple words to drive her thoughts.
William Shakespeare and William Wordsworth, a few of the renowned poets who through their works shaped thoughts, minds and philosophies. Today, a nun who is a scientist is also propagating truth through her literary works. Her 200 poems, put into 6 volumes, are testaments to the undying love, passion, and commitment to humanity and missionary work, using imagery to transfer values.
Let us just remember one thing: be the voice of truth wherever you find yourself, no matter the situation, because when you keep on telling the lies, you will never remember the last lie you told.
Reviewers of the literary works disclosed that the vision of the author through literature aims to inspire the younger generation and nurture societies built on purpose.
Her love for poetry is indescribable. Her craft of poetry is omnibus.
Ask yourself these soul-searching questions. Does God love me? How has God shown his love for me?
The poems reflect the author's vision of an ideal Nigerian society, highlighting the need for unity, justice, and equality.
The books were recommended for secondary schools within and outside the FCT.
Prayer is our power here on earth.
Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The case of Timilehin Ajayi, a 32-year-old man who was charged with a 1-count charge of culpable homicide, came up on Monday at the Nasarawa State High Court, where the suspect pleaded not guilty over the alleged murder charge. Ayin Ajayi Auta has more on the story.
It would be recalled that NTA News
brought to you a story about a man named Timileyin Ajayi, who used to reside at Karshi suburban Karu local government area of Nasarawa State, that killed his girlfriend Salomi Adaidu and dismembered her body for suspicious rituals. At the Nasarawa State High Court too in Lafia, the same Ajayi that confessed to the crime of killing his girlfriend without remorse is now pleading not guilty. Both counsels to the state government and the accused are optimistic that justice would be served at the end of the day.
The defendant, Mr. Timileyin Ajayi, was properly arraigned before this honorable court on the one-count charge of culpable homicide punishable with death. His plea was taken, and he pleaded not guilty to the charge, and the date was set for trial.
It's not my place to prove the case. It's my place to defend him. The essence of the work of the defense counsel is to ensure that the prosecution does their own work legally well.
We're not happy to see that a Nigerian was, in the circumstances, butchered, killed, not only killed, butchered, ripped, the bones removed, in so many polythenes.
Justice Simon Aboki has, however, adjourned the case to 17th of March 2025 for hearing. In Lafia, Ayena J. Auta, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps says it recorded 16.2% reduction in road traffic crashes during the 2024 Yuletide Special Patrol Operations nationwide. Corps Marshal of the Corps, Shehu Mohammed, announced this while briefing media on activities of the Corps between 15th of December 2024 and 15th of January 2025. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
2024 end-of-the-year Operation Zero Tolerance Special Patrol was aimed at ensuring safety and security of motorists before, during and after the Yuletide.
Sit down, please.
Now, the period has ended and the report card ready. Out of 531 road traffic crashes recorded in the period under review, 169 were said to be fatal, 287 serious, while 75 were minor. The landmark crashes recorded 7% of the total crashes during the period, and these resulted in the death of 247 persons, which constituted a whopping 39% of the total deaths recorded within the period. Major causes of these crashes include the conveyance of persons in haulage vehicles, overloading of persons, conveying petroleum products in passenger vehicles, and fatigue. Another major concern, which has increased number of deaths, is the incessant tanker crashes at different parts of the country.
It is pertinent to emphasize at this juncture that out of the total fatalities that occurred in 2024, 411 deaths, representing 7.6% of the total deaths, were not primarily caused by the crashes, but a secondary factor, which is the very monster we are fighting today, scooping of fuel from fallen tankers.
It was also reported that between January and December 2024, there was a 10% road traffic crash reduction, 2% reduction in injuries, 7% increase in fatalities. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Football enthusiasts react to African draws as establishment of sports varsity is suggested. For more on these and other stories from the sporting world, let's join Gift George.
Reactions have trailed the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations draws held in Rabat, Morocco Monday night. All the 24 participating countries now know their opponents in 6 groups, A to F. The 35th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations is scheduled from 21st of December 2025 to the 18th of January 2026. Three-time champions, the Super Eagles of Nigeria, have been drawn in Group C alongside Tunisia, Uganda, and Tanzania.
We don't have issues coming out of the group, so we're not really bothered. We should focus more on ourselves, build our momentum, and get to the knockout stage.
To basketball, the 4th edition of the Louis Eden West African Invitational Basketball Championship enters day 3 at the Indo Sports Hall of the National Stadium, Lagos. The championship, which is featuring 10 men's team, 6 women's team from Ghana, Benin Republic, and Nigeria, has created a platform for teams to prepare for national leagues and other major international tournaments. In some of the matches from day 2, Spintex Knights of Ghana beat Lagos Legends 78-35. Comets of Nigeria defeated Energy of Cotonou 67-61.
We'll continue to see this type of improvements because of the level of talent that we bring. You know, bringing all these international talents to compete with the best local talent is all, going into the sports.
In another development, activities marking the 50th anniversary of the National Institute for Sport, NIS Lagos, have begun. And at a press conference, Director General Professor Olawale Morokonla used the opportunity to reflect on the achievements, challenges, and prospects of the institute, calling for the upgrade of the Citadel of Learning to full sports university to solve the challenges of recruiting national athletes.
There should be budget provision for maintenance of facilities. So if we do this, then the rot we have in our facilities will be minimized.
In grassroots tennis, the first Tennis Players Parents Association Universal Tennis Ranking Tournament for the year ended at the Ikeja Country Club, Lagos, with about 80 junior tennis players across the country on the court at a week-long tournament. The players competed in under 12, 14, 16, and youth categories. The competition focused on providing a platform for the smooth transition of junior tennis players to the senior categories.
This is for them to prepare themselves and, of course, take advantage of the opportunity we have also created so that those points just begin to disappear and, of course, for them to shape up.
Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
And that's Panorama today, Tuesday, 28 January 2025. Many thanks for watching. I am Ogochukwu Ona.